Full moon. Full moon. It's kind of weird getting a full moon and without having to worry about Pete. But the whole album's out though, so it's good too. We did a review on it. That's like the only kind of superstitious thing I do still. Because I know, I mean, I used to do that. I just threw a coin in the water and made a wish. But I used to do that with everything. You know, walk under a bridge, fucking step over a crack. And then once I realized that's not how any of this works, it all went away. It all went away. God, you know, it's a God thing. A lot of good stuff came from that. A lot of good stuff came from that realization, that understanding. So yeah, Christmas Day here in Waikiki. A lot of people out. Nia said she's swamped today at work, so it was really crazy. But the thing is, like, it'll be like that till, I don't know, New Year's. And then after that, it gets really dead here. January and February are really quiet months here, which is good for me because it's much easier to navigate when the streets aren't clogged up with people. Much easier to get around. It's a much more pleasant experience. What am I going to talk about on Christmas Day? The JQ? Race realism? Religion? Some other alt-right topic. Everything that is a threat to them or goes against their little fucking idea of how things have to be is considered like alt-right. It's just like Christians with the going to hell thing. You know? Get married, alt-right. Have a kid, alt-right. Well, so, I mean, certain people, you know, certain phenotypes. It's all bullshit. So, today is not Jesus' birthday. That's all made up bullshit. It's a pagan holiday, really. Including taking the tree in the house, that's a pagan thing too. You know, Christians again would tell you that you're absolutely going to hell. They get off on that. There's like a perverse streak with those people that tell you that they're going to hell. You know, and I understand them casting stones. It's okay. They can cast them back. You know, but I'm still a Christian in that I follow Christ, but I don't. Not like an organized religion Christian. Fucking Christ didn't want organized religion. He was against that. I was reading a passage in the Bible last night in Romans, which was really alarming to me. I'll put it on the screen because I don't know it exactly verbatim, but basically what it says is that you should always submit to the authorities, right? Because the authorities are preordained by God. And they're an extension of God, and therefore you should always submit to them and fucking do what they tell you to. That includes like tax collection, fucking how you manage yourself, like all this other kind of stuff. I don't know about that. That seems kind of sus, you know, and that's why I have a problem with the Bible, because it's like anyone over the years can add whatever the shit they want to it, and you know, since a lot of it was translated from the Hebrew text, you know, there's a lot of stuff like that they put in there to protect them from the goyim, you know, like you know, turn the other cheek, if you find out your nation's been subverted, make sure you don't hang those people, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of that in there. I guess that's all right too. Everything's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I've never met anyone that refers to themselves as alt-right, because no one does. It's the same thing with white. I've never heard anyone describe themselves as a white person. And I grew up in America in the 1980s and 70s when it was 99% white, you know, white skinned. I never saw any other kinds of people, like especially in my area, which was like a suburb of Boston. No, it wasn't a suburb. The suburb, about 20 minutes away from Boston. More toward going up toward New Hampshire. It was a pretty, you know, it was just your average, like, sort of area like that. There's a mall in, you know, It's just like everywhere USA. But we had like, in school growing up, we had one black kid. His name was Sean. And that was it. There was a couple of Asian kids in high school. When I got to high school, a couple of Asian kids. And one of the Asian kids is my wife's sister-in-law. So big world, right? So yeah, and then I remember once I graduated, we started getting a lot of Latinos in the 90s. There was a huge explosion in my area of Latinos. They all came in, which caused quite a bit of white flight. Now my area, that area is pretty much, there's not a lot of white people there anymore. That's true for a lot of suburbs in America. But when I lived, when I grew up, yeah, that's all it was. You know, so and no one referred to themselves as white people as retarded. Like you were whatever you were. Like I'm Irish, you know, both sides, all the way back. No mixed lineage. We're number one. Irish pride, Irish power, Irish supremacy, I guess, really. Yeah, so I think we're the best. And that's okay, because everyone, as long as you don't say you think their made-up word is number one, or their made-up word, pride, you can't say that. But, and because absolutely at that point, then you're a domestic tea. But I'm not. I describe myself the same way we did growing up. Everyone was, oh, I'm Italian. Oh, I'm Armenian. Oh, you know, that's how people, no one called themselves white. It's a trap that they want you to refer to yourself as white, so that you can get in the endless black and white struggle that they have in America. The main event, which is what everything feeds into. Black people against white people all day long, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Keep fighting so we can keep draining blood out of kids' bodies and you don't notice. And fucking stupid people just go for it. And they'll keep doing it back and forth all day. But it's a trap. The reason they want you to refer to yourself as white, so then they can say you are a white supremacist, or you are a white domestic tea-cist. It's a fucking trap. No one referred to themselves as that ever. And I still don't. I'm not. That's an invention of the system that was brought into the world with Barack Obama. Every president has their things they have to do. They have a list of shit they got to do, or tell the people that's happening. They don't do anything. These presidents have they're largely administrators. They don't fucking do anything. I think people are getting hip to that, though. You know, they're starting to get hip to that. I mean, people are only going to get hip to a certain amount ever. You know, I don't think we're going to have a mass awakening like some people say. I think everybody that's already going to realize the situation has already realized it. And I wouldn't suggest you try to fucking go around waking people up. You know, I always warn against that. You're just going to get yourself in trouble. You get yourself put on a neighborhood watch. Especially if you're a white person, you're definitely gonna be watched. There's a point to all this, though. There's a point to this exercise. They have an end goal in mind, of course, because they work out the end goal first. This is how they do everything. They work out the end goal, and then they manufacture situations or events to get to that end goal. Their end goal for this, though, is retarded, and it's not going to work. They want their Messiah to come back, where they got to kill all those people first over in the Middle East, so they can reform or refit the Middle East in the way they want to. That's all it's about. They attack themselves with their fake T group, which doesn't exist. And then once they clear that area out, they can build their third temple, and then get rid of the true sons of Abraham, because they're the fake sons. It's stupid. Like, they're not going to do it. I don't think there's I don't think they have enough time. I don't think they have the time they think they have, because this scenario has already happened. They've gone over the same scenario many times. This is just another one of those times, but things are different this time. It's the end of an age, and it's the end of a cycle. Their system that they've been using, or their system of transmutation, whatever it is that they use to, I've said this a million times, I feel like, I should just make sound bites. But everyone doesn't see every fucking episode of Top Head Day. But whatever they're using to facilitate the situation where they take our energy, our loosh, which they suck off and make us produce by making our area stressful, or trying to cause fear, anxiety, depression. It creates more of that stuff that they can suck off. If you're happy, you don't create any of it. Like you, someone was describing it one time, well, kind of recently, as like, it's like black soul residue. And if it had a physical presence, it would be like this inky, sort of sticky black stuff that you create when you're stressed or afraid. Your spirit form creates this stuff. And what that, if that has anything to do with the whole black goo thing, I don't know. Someone else can tie that together. I'm not about to put a pin in that picture because I don't know, that's kind of not my thing, but I think there is some kind of tie to that. You know, the black goo we see in like media, aliens movies, Prometheus, stuff like that. So they create that stuff. And if you're higher vibration, if you're laughing, if you're happy, joyful, you don't create it. You don't make any. So they can't have you happy and thankful and in God's light. Otherwise, you're not a good battery for them, and they want to get rid of you, and they'll attack you spiritually, or they'll attack you with their minions out here. You know, as anyone that follows God in Christ that has been experiencing, it all fits together. This whole thing fits together. You just have to stand away from the board far enough. You know, the time really, for me, of sticking the fucking red string into the different, that's kind of over. You know, it's kind of over. I kind of realized that any kind of, it's all horizontal pursuit, you know. You want to stay vertical. You want to keep going up to truth, up to God, up to understanding. Going horizontally, it isn't going to get you anywhere. It's like, oh, the Marinara Trench. The Marinara Trench, it sounds delicious. The Mariana Trench has a fucking alien in it or whatever, a demon. It's like, that's cool if you got extra time to kill and you want to look at something like that, or go into looking at the NASA program and all the symbolism there. Who cares? It's like almost they lay these things out for us. And I see a lot of videos like this, and I think it's cool that people do this. I mean, it shows that, you know, people have talented minds and creative minds, where they're like, all right, we tied this TV show to this program, to the military, and they show you all the things that line up. It's almost like they leave those to keep us occupied. So we'll spend our time doing that shit and not trying to do anything real, like get quiet, you know, get the quiet reflection, get closer to God, closer to understanding our divinity. It keeps us from doing that. Occasionally, like, the only time I'll do the board is if something pops up. Like recently, the clown guy, the Nephilim stuff, that triggered a few cases of me looking at an old picture and being like, oh yeah, this goes to that, and attaching that to this. And then I just, and you know, that's it at that point. It's like, all right, I've attached it. It's done, it's done. The thing I try to do now, metaphorically, I guess, is stand away from the board and kind of look at what I've done throughout the years and try to find a pattern there, like a larger macro pattern. To what end? I don't know. Maybe it's another horizontal pursuit, but at least it might give me some kind of understanding to keep going up, to keep going up that vertical elevator to truth, understanding God, the good stuff. Am I going in Waikiki? Yes, I am. I'm going to get Nia something there. That's Waikiki Market over there. We're going to live in that building. We planned on moving in there until we fucking saw the thing. You know, they were building it the whole time, and it sounded good. And we were gonna do it, and then when we started seeing it, we were like, fuck no. Like those lanais up there, they're separated by a little pane of glass. And Hawaii being the way it is, and people being the way they are, I'd be out there having one coffee one morning, and someone's head would poke around the corner. Hey, what are you doing? Do you want to buy some meth? You need to be separated from people here because people don't understand boundaries and none of that. If you're a social person, you'd probably have a fucking great time here because literally everyone wants to talk to you. They'll talk to you about something. They'll make something up. You know, it's kind of why I like filming out here too. People stay away from me. The camera scares a lot of people. And if that doesn't do it, then the cigarette certainly does. Not like I'm like an antisocial misanthrope, but most people that are seeking to talk to me don't want to talk to me for anything good. At best, it's just curiosity. You know, like, and I understand that. I don't mind that. And I do give leeway to certain kinds of people, like islanders. I always give leeway to, because this is fucking their place, you know. But tourists, no, fuck them. I have no time for them. You know. All right. I couldn't do something without saying fuck them. Angry street man signing off. Merry Christmas, everybody. And you know, we'll be monitoring the situation through New Year's and beyond. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.